When you're specifically speaking about the sales, the process starts with our clients buying horses, as you do in Keeneland, buy yearlings, bringing us the sales slip. We get the release from the sales office, the Coggins and the release, and we have a team of usually girls, Jeanette Ottersberg or Jeanette Sargent and her daughter, who run the desk.
Yeah, they do a great job. Bring me dots. I love that dots
Yeah,
candy.
they hoard them.
Yeah. Welcome to Leading the Way, Hartley Derenzo. I'm Dean Derenzo, Randy Hartley. Today's guests are Glenn Brock, Vice President of Sales of Brook Ledge Horse Transport, and Brian Roberts. He is manager of the depot and every other hat that he has to wear during that time. So
And he has a lot of hats.
Yeah. And so we're going to talk about the whole process that goes on that most people don't know about behind the scenes, and transferring these very delicate, expensive potential racehorses and racehorses throughout the country.
And show horses.
All
breeds.
Right.
Yes.
So Brook Ledge Horse Transport is the largest horse transport company in this nation and maybe the world. I'm not sure on that.
It's
and
been
of
stated.
course, we've shipped with them for 30 plus years, knowing Glenn since he's about 16, because he's been there that long.
Well, it takes a long time to be a senior man.
Put up with Randy and I. That's a good one.
We're not going there, Dean.
And Brian knows what that feels like too.
No, you share. You're very sharing.
We're very grateful for that. Right?
So anyway, tell us about the process of these sales. And by the way, we are at OBS Sales in the October yearling sale. And they have their trucks set up here and ready to start transferring horses to all different parts of the United States. And
Right.
maybe the airplanes to go across the waters as well on there. So how does the process start? I mean, what's the first thing that happens
You want to open or you want me to?
to do that?
So,
That's
you know,
sales.
when you're specifically speaking about the sales, the process starts with our clients buying horses, as you do in Keeneland, buy yearlings, bringing us the sales slip. We get the release from the sales office, the Coggins and the release, and we have a team of usually girls, Jeanette Ottersberg or Jeanette Sargent and her daughter, who run the desk.
Yeah, they do a great job. Bring me dots. I love that dots
Yeah,
candy.
they hoard them.
Yeah.
They know what candy everybody, Steve Young likes chewing gum. They know you like dots. And it's a process of doing the paperwork. And then at Keeneland, Brian runs in the motorhome, we put all those loads together. He knows Ocala very well and runs, knows his people down here. And we have a gal from California, Laura Chipman. She and her husband Shane
Yeah, her and Shane are awesome.
are agents out there, and she helps do the paperwork and put the load together. And then it moves on to our loading crew, Roger Wilburn and Steve Ottersberg, and our collection of shankers that we're very proud of.
Well, what's a
hiring.
shanker?
What's a shanker?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking to some people that don't know anything about this. So,
Right.
what's a shanker?
Those are the guys that go to the barns with the releases, get the horses, hook them up, lead them to the trucks.
Important guy.
A very important guy
Very
because
important guy.
Yeah.
yeah,
And,
We're only good as our weakest link. And
Yeah.
if they don't do their job, it doesn't matter what we do on the front end.
and I bet difficult to find those kind of people.
It's tough.
I know you got
Glenn's done a
that
good job
kid
over
Turtle that helps
Thank
you
you.
guys a lot.
Yeah.
Turtle.
And he's always when I see him coming to pick up one of our horses, I'm like, oh, this guy's so awesome. But
Yeah,
he's been
my
with
guy,
you guys a
yeah.
long time.
he's a good horseman. He's actually a top showman. He shows show horses in here.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he's kind of nationally known. But he's been with us for a while. He used to actually work at my farm in Pennsylvania, and we have other guys like him that are very
Right.
capable. And when you have expensive horses, or just any horse. You want
Right,
the best people.
right. Just any horse, somebody's
On the
somebody's
shank.
pet.
Everything
or-
has value.
Yes.
Yeah, everything has value, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be monetary
That's
value.
right. That's right.
On that. Well, I know that Brook Ledge is really important to us because when we release our horses to you, we get worry free until we have to pick them up again at the next spot, and that's really important to us with the values of horses that we have to ship around the country. We feel real confident to have them in your hands there. I always come over to the depot, as Brian knows, and watch my horses load. Just, I enjoy the whole process of it. There, everything always goes really smooth. But I imagine it gets chaotic at sometimes, like at Keeneland, where you got every single day vans leaving. Because our horses, some of our clients can't believe we buy them one day, and
they're
they
home
say,
the next.
well, can we go take a picture? I said, no, they're in Ocala. They're in the barn. They're bedded down.
Well, for us, it's the less stress, that you expose those horses to. It's a big time shipping into the sale,
Right.
showing them, being vetted,
Yeah.
being scoped, down, show numerous times a day. Then when that hammer drops, sitting around those barns is just more time for something to happen. to
You're
them.
100%
So
right.
put them in those big box stalls and get them home quick
Yep.
as possible, wherever it is. And then they can be horses again and let themselves down from that great experience and be the individuals you guys bought,
And that
Be
process of putting them all together, knowing that, all right, we're going to fill this truck with how many?
8 to 10.
8 to 10 horses, and they may go to 4 places, 5 places.
Correct. Well,
We try to,
we do have customers that want, door-to-door service, don't get off, but we also have a lot of smaller vehicles that expedite. So the
Yeah.
big truck's not running all over a
Right.
Yeah.
100-mile radius.
Yeah.
And so
and
the
your
horse-
horse was the first on and the last off. That's horrible.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going from Keeneland or Kentucky or Canada or wherever, Texas, the climate change, you may be very humid here and especially in October, it's still get very warm here.
Yeah.
So in Florida, that you don't want them on there long. The quicker they're off that truck.
Well, when you said that, it just reminded me of something, and that Brook Ledge has this fan system in their trucks
Correct.
that
We do.
moves the air
right.
through there and keeps things constant cool or constant warm, whatever it needed to be during that time. And it works phenomenal.
It really does. In
Air
South
flow,
Florida,
flow and ventilation
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
so important.
Ventilation.
we run a shuttle every day back and forth from Miami. So you're a
have
lot
to-
of traffic down there, and those
Right.
fans are constantly moving, and the airflow is big on those horses.
And your vans always look amazing. I don't know who washes or keeps them up, but he's
Yeah,
like,
I
we
can't
need
believe
those
they're
guys
that
to wash
clean.
our
Brian
cars.
does all that.
Yeah, well,
Oh, Brian does that
Here,
too.
here in Ocala, Cody Hopple does. He does a great job.
Yeah, they look
And
amazing.
Cody comes from a horse background with his father, Pat Hopple, and everybody. So he knows what it's like to have disinfected.
Can we
clean
slide a
them.
few of ours in there every
Absolutely.
once in a while?
Swing by.
Because they look
Just line 'em
fantastic.
up.
Yeah, Cody will come to your house.
And we have a crew similar in Lexington that comes 3 or 4 days a week and washes all the vehicles as they go through the depot. So we like our equipment to look good.
So how many trucks
Inside
does
out.
Brook Ledge run? Horse fans. I
the
know you
big-
got a trucking company too.
We do.
But
We
there's
have-
horse transports.
We have the capability of run up to about 75 if we need be.
Yeah.
But for 30 to 60, depending on the season.
Yeah. All over the country.
All
Plus,
okay.
we have the goosenecks and the 6 horses.
a
Right.
lot of support
A
vehicles.
lot of local
Yeah.
stuff.
We
Well,
love
the-
those, by the
yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Right.
no, they're handy.
Horses load on them so easy and with no stress.
And what a lot of people don't understand is like, oh, what happens when you're in the middle of Georgia and Alpharetta or something, you break down, or you're in the middle of Texas, we have stationed vehicles all through the United States
strategically, yeah.
at tow yards, Brook Ledge trucks, not rental trucks, not
Right.
because it's tough to get a rental truck and nobody's answering the phone. You got a load of horses sitting on the side of the road in Dallas, and it's
Yeah.
130 in the shade.
Yeah.
We have 2 trucks there. We have 2 trucks in Atlanta. They're all over the United States, and then we send a team in the wintertime and in the spring to go, or the summer, sorry, and go around and make sure they're all running, they're up to spec, they're all inspected, and so that that's peace of mind for us.
Right.
Once you give it to us, it's now our
Right.
responsibility to make sure that it doesn't go. We had one breakdown during the Keeneland sale, and nobody knew about it.
Right.
Because it was seamless.
Right.
That truck unhooked, hooked, keep going.
And off you went.
Oh, yeah.
And so the team is so important. The Brook Ledge team complete, huh?
There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
In Brook Ledge.
It's not what you do when it's all going good. It's what you do when it goes bad.
That's right.
And it's how to handle the stressful. You don't know problems. You only know solutions. It's you're entrusting us and many others.
I like that.
To get us from point A to point B. You
Yeah,
don't want to hear,
good lines.
hey, listen, we're 5 hours behind because we had a break. No, you don't hear that. You're buying your next champion.
Right.
Right. So,
And sometimes there are already champions that are on these trucks.
Correct.
Yeah.
They got to go
yeah.
to the Kentucky
Yeah.
Derby, to the
Breeders' Cup,
Breeders'
yeah.
Cup, or
Preakness,
Right.
Belmont. Yeah, we haul Travers. We haul all
Travis
those
horses, all these
Yeah.
grade 1 horses. And
The other thing is, we build all our own tractor trailers,
Right.
I know that.
Yeah.
and we have a tremendous shop in Ole where the main office is. And many years ago, we were loading at Barry Eisman's, and he walked on. He said, "Wow, it's 100 degrees outside, and it's cooler in the trailer than he's expecting it to be like a hot box."
Right.
And that was before we had fans.
Right.
But we insulate everything so well that it
Keeps a
climates-
constant,
yeah.
a constant temperature.
temperature, and also a lot of windows
For ventilation. Yeah,
crosshair.
yeah,
So
EB is predominantly who we use to buy the shell, but like you said, Brook Ledge
Builds the
outfits
whole
the rest of
finish
it.
everything.
inside.
yeah, so
and it's
every year we build new ones and we try to improve them. From the old cheese grater screens,
You're right.
that,
Right.
horse can rub his eye on to now round bars
Right.
that are sanded and polished and
So
smooth, and even the release for the urine, we've made those. What would you call them?
Drains or
The
drains
drains.
to flow to a
Yeah.
different spot, so they're not just standing in it.
Right,
right.
To take that
it
away.
has to go somewhere.
yeah,
So
yes.
each-
So it's run by horsemen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Absolutely.
with thought process in here, it's not just a trucking company throws a box on there and gets you to your next spot.
Right.
It's horsemen. But I could tell you a little story here that I remember. I'm out in, I think it was Reno, Nevada, and I saw Brook Ledge recruiting cowboys because knowing they're horsemen, they can
Right.
handle horses
Right.
for employees. And I said, man, that's a great idea, because how else are you going to recruit the team that you need to haul these horses without first having a horseman on the end of that shank there, or driving,
Right.
knowing when to stop for water and water horses and things like
and the
that.
signs of a horse isn't
Or
doing
get out
well.
of traffic jams,
Right.
so they
And
can
they're
keep
not always
trucks
busy
moving.
doing what they're doing, so they fill their time. Hey, I got 2 weeks here. I got 10 days here.
Right.
So they'll call us up.
I thought it was
and,
brilliant.
get on a schedule, and we fly them in, fly them out.
Now tell me who come up with
nice.
that idea.
Be Brad Gottwalls. He is the owner of Brook Ledge. And
Yeah.
just like where you're
Great
talking about
idea.
the trailers and all that, he listens to Glenn. He listens to every driver. He polls them. He brings them in. Hey, what about this? What about that? Hey, we're outfitting a new trailer. He has so many of them already, but he'll call his top 5, 10 drivers and say, what about that ramp system? What about, you like that latch? You like that?
Yeah.
And
So he's got a passion for his business.
He really does.
Oh, yeah.
He puts money right back into the business.
Yeah.
We don't pride ourselves in being the cheapest. We pride ourselves on being
the
the
best.
best. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The most efficient.
And
It
I
costs
can
more to
attest
do
to
it right.
that.
Yeah.
That's
On
right.
that.
Well, and you guys, you're quality guys. You don't buy cheap horses. You buy good horses.
Yeah.
And
It's got to be quality all the
Right.
way, and quality is quality.
it's got to.
And I don't know if you can complain about $5 or $10 when you know the safety of, there's things that happen no matter what.
They're horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're horses.
They're
They're
always trying to
strawberries.
kill themselves.
They're strawberries.
Yeah.
I say horses, they spend 8 hours eating, 8 hours sleeping, and 8 hours trying to kill themselves.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
So that 8 hours they're trying to kill themselves. There we are trying to
Yeah, that's
run
sprinkled in
defense.
Not
the
have them do it on our watch. Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So it's I said a lot of people don't realize what it takes to run that company, to run these live animals,
Right.
and shipping them. I'm sure we do, because we're hands-on horsemen as well. But there's probably a lot of buyers that buy a horse and go, "Oh, get this shipped," like
Right.
it's something you can put in the mail.
Right.
You know,
It's not a
the
cardboard
postal
box.
service is going to send it. You
Yeah,
know,
or get it there the cheapest
Yeah.
way possible. And you open them, you know.
We're not UPS.
Yeah,
right.
we're
So
not doing
it's who's going to ship these animals to keep the safety and the care for them during that. And I notice they all have big hay nets and hay shavings in there to absorb any urine
Right.
and maybe even soften the ride for them if it does help any that way. But just makes them comfortable. Especially if they're in a box stall and they decide they want
Makes
to lay
them feel
down.
like they're at home.
Listen, that you want to lessen the stress
Yep.
because stress will get a horse sick. And we
Mhm.
Yeah,
pride ourselves on having direct trips.
yeah,
And when we, Brian has redone his loading chute so we can transfer horses to expedite them. So we're not going to 6 different farms.
Right.
They get to Ocala and boom, they all go to the farm they're
Mhm.
supposed to go to.
yeah.
There's a lot of logistics in there,
Oh, yeah.
but it's important to the customer and to the horse.
Well, I know your 2 main locations being Lexington, Kentucky, and Ocala, Florida,
yes.
being the fight for the horse capital of the world, right there in both places, the label on that. But there's more horses in both of those cities than probably anywhere else in the whole country.
Both
right?
race horses and show horses.
Yeah, both. Just more horses overall.
Right.
So having those depots in those places, making it convenient to be able to transfer horses from, like you say, a big truck that may not be able to get into a farm because their tree limbs are too low.
Like our farm. Brian's bringing the chainsaw in the truck.
That's right.
But we do
Just
have
one more service that we offer. Yeah.
That's a lot
Brian's
more
like,
open.
I'll bring the truck out and chainsaw.
Chainsaw when we're not so busy.
Yeah,
Right.
we're not- it's kind of an oxymoron.
But so been having that safe facility to be able to transfer one from one to the other without at your place without really having to go through a ramp. They can come off on the same level and back in on the same level.
That's right.
On that. And so, me being in the depots, have seen them, and so I can attest to the quality of that
Speak by
setup.
experience,
Well,
right?
and also the stress on the driver. If a driver has to get to Ocala, and if he has to pick up, say, all around Lexington, and then come to Ocala and pick all, deliver
drop.
all around, and there's 2 drivers every time
Right.
in one of our trucks. That's just stressful. You're not going to keep drivers that way.
No.
Yeah.
You're just not.
And you'll lose the best one you have.
He knows he's tired. He's coming to
If
your
he's
station.
tired,
He's going to
the last
disperse
horse
out.
is your horse,
yeah.
and he's been to 5 other places in the heat. It's just, it all works together.
They don't get any rest. Where we run 2 drivers, those trucks that we use, the Freightliners, have big sleepers. Those guys have microwaves in the back. They can
keep that truck rolling.
TV.
Yeah,
They're
and-
very self-sufficient.
right, and they get rest. If they had to deliver every farm, they
Yeah,
wouldn't
they
get
would
any
be up
rest.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys do an amazing job, I have to say. And and if the viewers don't believe it, try it out.
Mhm.
Go
it
Brook
must-
Ledge.
and it
Yes,
must-
Put your
thank
horse
you.
on the van and see what your experience will be. Like I said, for us, it's been 32, 33 years,
Long time.
I think.
Right.
That's
When
a
we
lot.
couldn't even pay attention.
And it must make you guys
But Glenn was there for us.
That's right.
All during those
the
times.
whole time.
I
Yeah.
remember when you were fighting for a $1,200 horse at Keeneland.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
You got to get to first before you get
on
to
that.
second.
Well, it must
That's
make
true.
you guys proud to, whenever the Derby's over and they're headed to the Preakness, and every year I see it on TV, the Brook Ledge van pulls up and the Derby horse usually steps off. And,
Right.
I know you had American Pharaoh, Justify on there, the 2 latest Triple Crown winners. I don't know if you guys were there present at the time when those horses get there, but even just seeing it on TV, it must make you guys feel really good that
It really does.
We do
you're
have
at the next level.
representation at every major racetrack. So whether Brian and I are there,
Right.
You'll have
or
somebody
Tom
there.
Bohannon or John Dixon or any of Mary Dozier, Juice at Belmont and his wife Judy,
Right.
Saul. We have somebody there to
Right.
receive those trucks and make sure that there's a Brook Ledge representative taking care of everybody.
Right.
The same at the shows. Ashley Van Meter is our representative at the horse shows, and we try to make sure that we have customer service.
Well, on my phone, when I say call Brook Ledge, it calls you. Calls Glenn.
I'm trying to decide if that's a good thing. No, it's a great thing.
Glenn, oh, yeah.
Oh, not him again.
What did I do now?
Throw that toothpick guy, get a fresh one. How you doing, Nemo?
Okay, what do we got to do now?
How we doing?
The last call was to bring this equipment
Yeah,
down
that's
from,
right.
Yeah.
from Keeneland.
You got any
to
room
do
for a
the
few
interview
microphones
down.
and
Yeah.
some stuff? We
Yeah.
were actually, trying to get it shipped down, and it was hard to get packed up and done. And Rich was saying, "All right, we got to think about something." And I go, "I don't know why I didn't think about this. Let me call Glenn and see, because the sale is on and trucks are going to be coming.
All the
If
time.
we
What we
can
looking for?
throw it on." It was 3 boxes, and
Right.
and you guys accommodated
Seamless.
us, and it was great. Thank you. Brian even helped me carry the heavy one out.
Yeah.
He's a lot bigger than I am and a lot younger. So
Yeah. He's both. Yeah.
It's not all fluff.
So
He works out,
so I just wanted to really kind of talk to you guys about giving you the notoriety that you really deserve.
We're,
you.
we're really grateful, and we couldn't do it without the clientele.
And we couldn't do it without you guys. So it's a two-way street all
One
the way
hand
through.
does not clap.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
One hand does not clap. I like
It's been
that
a
one
good
too.
ride.
There. So we do our podcast because it brings great awareness to the whole industry. So we have our podcasts are seen in fact, Rich Mendez had told us that 14% of our viewers are in Ireland.
Wow.
Well, they want to learn about horses too.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, exactly. They're learning.
They do. John Kimmel stopped me earlier this morning. I was here at 7:00, and he said, "By the way, you're terrible at word scramble," because Randy and I did a little word scramble thing.
Guess who got
He
them all
said,
right?
"But I'm learning a lot from you. You guys watching your podcast." And I'll go, "Oh my gosh, John, you probably forgot more than I know."
Yeah.
So,
Well, the positive awareness that your podcast is bringing.
Yes.
Every time you turn on the news anymore, they want to talk about the negative here, and
Yeah.
then the Kentucky Derby leading up to the Kentucky Derby, 4 horses breakdown, and it's like, do you know how many horses go across a racetrack
right.
every day?
Yeah.
Every
We,
day.
Brook Ledge,
Thousands
we're
and thousands.
fortunate enough to transport about 46,000 horses a year.
46,000.
Yeah, but they
Really?
want to talk about that one time that it didn't go right.
right.
Yeah.
Because,
and-
he's an
and-
athlete,
yeah.
and athletes, get
When
hurt.
they carry a guy
And-
off the field, they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter's not out there waiting.
You don't see that.
Yeah.
Right. Unfortunately, there's negative in every aspect.
Well,
of every
it's
business.
bad news.
It's
sells
funny you
better
brought
than
that up because
good.
we can say anything we want because this is our podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say there is there was a article that came out when Bob Baffert's horse got hurt. And was that during the Preakness race?
Right.
There, and horse had to be euthanized. Unfortunately, got hit
right.
and so forth. And it came out. Bob Baffert had another horse break down.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I did? I called him up and I said, "You know what you should have said? You should have said my condolences go out for Bob Baffert because he loves that horse,
That's right.
Yeah,
and
he
for the owners of that horse
That's
who've
right.
put up all their hard work
That's right.
And hopes and dreams.
and hopes and dreams, and lost a good athlete.
That's right.
So why not say your condolences go out for losing that horse instead of how you brought that across?"
And if those negative people were to be in your barn and
Yeah.
many other barns day to day, these horses live better than a lot of
Oh,
people.
yeah.
And the worst part about that is that's an industry person
That's
who
right.
said that.
That's really sad.
That is sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, that's part of the reason why Rich wanted to, because, he's new in the game
Right.
and loves it.
and
It's a
loves
passion.
it. And he sees
passion.
how all these horses are taken care of. When he first comes to the farm,
can't
he's like,
believe
oh
it.
my gosh, I want to be one of you guys' horses. You get the spa, you get the,
Yeah.
so he's, really wanting to put out how these horses are cared for, and
Right.
wants
People
to.
that don't know, they like negativity,
Right.
you know, and
And you can't talk to them. So the best thing to do is let's show them all the positive.
Yeah.
I agree.
Let's bring you guys on.
Kill them
Let's
with
bring,
kindness.
and say, you know what, we work really hard to take care of these things.
That's right.
And
we care about them.
we
That's right.
care. You know,
right down to our shankers.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You know, those guys are all horsemen.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got guys that used to be jocks and and grooms and
Yeah.
they're real horsemen.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
we recruit guys from Texas that are real horsemen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's phenomenal, and I say that this whole industry is linked together,
Correct.
totally. And there's always some bad that happens, and unfortunate things happen in the world. Period.
That's right.
We got
Everywhere.
wars going on and things like
Absolutely.
that.
Unfortunately.
That's just the way it goes. So we are all blessed to do what we do every day
Absolutely.
and love what we do. So you never go to work because you never work a day in your life when you love what you're doing.
That's right.
I
on
can't
that.
believe in these times of, you have to be computer savvy and how things have changed.
Yeah.
At my age, that I can still make a living being a cowboy and working with horses.
Yeah.
And doing what we
Isn't that
do.
something?
It is a blessing.
I mean,
Yeah.
I go to the farm every morning. Randy's there by the time I get there because he goes, "What'd you do? Full out of bed?" But I love
What are you
it.
doing here? It's 7 o'clock.
Did you make a wrong turn?
Yeah, something. Yeah, your wife kick you out.
Yeah, no
What's going
coffee
on?
at the house. You guys-
But you rush to get to work because it's what you love to do, and
That's
and
exactly
you get
right.
there and you look at all the horses and you just look around at your place and usually every day he says when we look across our place, our farm, and he says, "Isn't it beautiful?" And I go, "I love it. I just absolutely love it here." We say it every day because we remind ourselves that
It
we
is.
are blessed
That's right.
to have what we have.
That's exactly
And fortunate.
That's right.
And I'd wish that on everybody
Mhm.
that I know that
That's
can
right.
have the experiences that
Yeah.
we get to
Those
have.
poor people that are being negative. It's too bad they can't just be out there with
That's
you
right.
when the sun's coming up and lean on the rail and watch
Oh,
the
yeah.
fog lift and
Yeah, well,
and the
maybe one
horses
of them
racing.
will watch a podcast and say,
and reach out to you
yeah,
and say, we'd like to come and have that experience.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they should.
yeah, and
They need to
yeah.
feel the positive side.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Well, your whole life revolves around horses. Your wife, you're riding horses, and even I
Kids.
know you must be so proud of your
Kids.
daughter.
my
your
kids,
daughter's done
Sarah
so
and
well.
Carlos,
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean,
Samantha and
Yeah,
Derek.
so-
Yeah.
so it's
And
been
grandkids
it's your
will be.
life. Yes.
Yeah, and that,
Right.
so it's But what I was going to say, heck, I forgot because I'm old. But I was going to bring up we did podcasts with Wayne Lucas, and Wayne was so excited to do it because he said he usually doesn't do those things, and he said, I made a living doing what I love to do in this horse industry. So you bet
Yeah.
I'll be there. Tell me what time, what day, and let's do this. And he was so
Fantastic.
positive. And he said, I'm going to tell you a little story about a guy named Eugene Klein. He said he wanted to win the Super Bowl more than anything in the world. I mean, he spent billions of dollars winning the Super Bowl. He said, and when he won the Kentucky Derby, he didn't care about winning the Super Bowl anymore. He said it was the
He had
most.
won our Super Bowl.
Yeah, he said it was the most exciting time of his life ever, and didn't care about a Super Bowl ring. I said, you know what we need, Wayne? We need Kentucky Derby rings next.
There you
On
go.
that. And he said, great
Yeah.
idea.
And Breeders' Cup rings, yeah. That would be great.
yeah.
He had done an interview and he was wearing a pristine white Brook Ledge hat.
Yeah.
And we have that picture back at the office.
Well, he's pretty supportive of the industry. 88 years old, fantastic. What did he say, Randy, about what's the best part of his day? What did he tell you?
Sitting on his pony. Yeah.
Yep, sitting on his pony.
Yep, and
On
he
that.
still does.
That's at 88 years old
Yep.
and still winning grade ones
Yeah.
and the greatest
Right.
horses. I mean, his brain is amazing.
Right.
And it's because
Baltic.
it's a passion.
And
Yeah.
now
Right.
Secret Oath is going to the Night of the
Yeah,
Stars.
and you're probably going to ship her.
Yeah, we actually bought a
bubble wrap.
we actually bought a filly with Wayne this year. The Into Mischief filly, $1.2 million. They took half of her and we took half.
Yeah.
So
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, we're hoping he can make it to 90 and keep training.
Yeah, there you go.
Get our filly
And
in the
you
grade
know-
one.
And I told him, you better stay healthy. He said, I'm healthy. I said, well, listen to this. The filly her mother is out of winning colors.
Oh, how
And she's produced already 2 grade 1 winners.
filly that won the Alabama.
This
Wow.
this
Yeah.
mare. And so we have the
The
2-year-old.
second
Well,
dam
yearling
is
coming
winning
to-
colors, so the pedigree is just she's worth a ton. Just as if she
Yeah,
doesn't do
residual,
anything,
right.
And she's a gray,
and she's a big, beautiful
There you
gray
go.
filly. But
just like winning colors.
But
So
we
you go.
stretched on her, but for us to get that kind of pedigree, you knew you were going to have to pay a lot. But
sure.
we got her in the barn.
But,
you
and
go.
we're,
Nobody ever quit while they have a good 2-year-old in the
That's
barn.
right.
and we're happy to have Wayne train over. He can, that was his first Kentucky Derby horse. Happened to be a filly. There's only 2 fillies ever win the Kentucky Derby, and one of them is her grandmother. And so now I said,
She was born the property that I bought in Kentucky because
Yeah.
I moved to Kentucky, the old Echo Acres.
she was born on.
Her and Chris Everett
Oh, really?
Really
were raised on that property.
good soil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good, yeah,
Yeah,
Good
good
pedigree.
soil.
yeah.
Well, guys, I thank you for giving us your time and all your expertise, of course.
Thank you for having us.
On that. And we will wrap up this podcast with Leading the Way. If you like what you've listened to, follow us on Instagram and like us on Instagram and follow us on Twitter as well there. So Randy Hartley, Dean Derenzo, and Glenn Brook Ledge. Glenn Brock.
And Brian Brook Ledge.
Thank you for having us.
Well,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.